They laughed when you spoke your dreams. They rolled their eyes when you said, "Just watch me." They smiled politely, then whispered behind your back, "He's not going anywhere." They're not cut out for it. They don't have what it takes, and maybe, for a moment, you believed them. But here's what they didn't see, what no one saw: the late nights, the silent prayers, the broken pieces you stitched back together, the fire still burning inside you. They underestimated you. Good. Now make them regret it, silently. This isn't about revenge. It's about rising so high they choke on their doubts without you ever having to say a word. Let's talk about how the most dangerous person in the room isn't the loudest. It's the one you never saw coming. Why being underestimated is a gift in disguise. It stings, doesn't it, to be ignored, overlooked, counted out, but there's power in being doubted, because when people don't expect much from you, you're free from pressure, free from the spotlight, free to build quietly without noise, to fail without shame, to experiment without judgment. Advantage: being underestimated gives you stealth. While they sleep on you, you evolve. While they gossip, you grind. While they post, you plan. Disadvantage: but if you let their doubt sink in, you'll start living down to their expectations instead of rising above them. So next time someone underestimates you, thank them silently, because they just gave you invisible armor. The silent build: what they can't see, they can't stop. The world glamorizes the spotlight, but legends are made in the shadows. Every champion you admire built in silence before the applause. The entrepreneur who stayed up learning code while friends partied, the athlete who ran laps alone while no one watched, the artist who created in a small room, unseen, unknown. You don't need recognition to start. You don't need validation to continue. You just need discipline in the dark. Let them think you're not doing anything. Let them assume you gave up, because one day, they'll see the results. And by then, it'll be too late. Use their doubt as fuel, not a cage. You have two options when they doubt you: shrink. Shatter their expectations. Doubt is heavy, but it's also flammable, so use it. When they say, "You'll never make it," translate it to, "I can't wait to prove you wrong." When they say, "You're too late," say, "Watch how I redefine timing." When they say, "You're not good enough," say, "Not yet, but I will be." Advantage: when you transmute doubt into drive, you become unshakable. It no longer breaks you, it builds you. Disadvantage: if you internalize their disbelief, you start sabotaging your own progress before you even start. So protect your belief like it's sacred, because it is. The power of silent success. Success doesn't need to scream. In fact, the most powerful kind is quiet. You don't need to post your wins. You don't need to clap back at the doubters. You don't need to prove a point. Because the moment you rise, they'll know. Your growth will speak. Your consistency will shout. Your results will echo in rooms your name was once excluded from. Let them gossip now, because one day, their mouths will go quiet when your name walks in. The psychology of underestimation? Let's talk about why they underestimate you. Sometimes it's projection. They don't believe in you because they don't believe in themselves. Sometimes it's jealousy. They see your potential, but they hope you never see it. And sometimes it's just ignorance. They've labeled you based on old versions of you. But the thing is, they only have a trailer, not the full movie. They don't know what you've been through. They don't know how deep your hunger goes. They don't know how many nights you wanted to quit but didn't. So stop waiting for them to get it. Make them regret not getting it sooner. Let the work be the clapback. You don't need revenge. You need results. Let your success be the silence. That stings. Let your work speak louder than your words ever could. You're not here to convince them. You're here to outgrow them, build a life so incredible that their words become irrelevant. Level up so far that their opinions can't even reach you anymore. The old you would have fought to be understood. The evolved you? You're too focused, to care. Traits of the most dangerous, underestimated people. Let's break down what makes people like you unstoppable. They move in silence. No loud declarations, just quiet execution. They study more than they speak, learning in the background. Absorbing, analyzing, preparing. They show up daily, even when unseen. Consistency without applause. They never stop. You can't break someone who already knows pain. They remember every insult, every laugh, every... You can't? Not for revenge, but for fuel. These people don't need to win for others. They need to win in spite of them, and if that's you, you're already on your way. The sweetness of proving yourself right. Everyone talks about proving people wrong. But you know what's better? Proving yourself right. That inner voice, the one that whispers, "I'm meant for more," was never lying. And every time you take a step forward, you make that voice louder. You believed in your own comeback. You bet on yourself when no one else would. You held on to the vision even when it hurt. That's rare. So don't just chase validation. Chase alignment. Become who you always knew you could be. Because proving yourself right, that's the sweetest win there is. Silence isn't weakness. It's strategy. Let the world call you quiet. Let them say, "You're too soft." Let them say, "You don't have the killer instinct." Good. Let them keep thinking that. Because while they're busy showing off, you're getting stronger. Silence isn't weakness. It's strategy. A lion doesn't roar when it's hunting. It stalks, waits, plans, and when it strikes, it doesn't miss. Be that. Don't shout your goals. Build them so solid that the world trips over them. Why you should never respond with words you'll be tempted to reply, to defend yourself, to post your progress, to clap back with proof. But restraint is power. Let them think you're losing. Let them believe they were right. Then, let your results walk in first. Let them discover the truth without your help, because the people who once mocked you will tell others, "I always knew they were special." You won't need to say a word. Your life will scream it for you. From mockery to mystery, let them wonder. You know what's better than revenge? Mystery. Let them see the change but not understand the process. Let them hear your name in rooms they don't have access to. Let them Google you. Let them wonder, how did this happen? You don't owe them answers. You owe yourself peace. And there's something deeply powerful about being unreachable to people who once laughed at your dreams. Let their punishment be curiosity. You're not what they said. You're what you chose to become. They said you were. Average. You chose greatness. They said you were too emotional. You turned that emotion into art. They said you were weak. You turned the pain into power. They said you were a joke. You became the story they now pretend to admire. You're not what they labeled you. You're what you decided to become. And every single day you keep going, you prove that old story dead wrong. Let time work for you. Time is your silent ally. You don't have to rush. You don't have to prove anything today. You don't need overnight validation. The best stories unfold slowly. So keep watering your dream. Keep learning. Keep moving. Keep showing up, because over time the distance between used to mock me and now they admire me becomes massive. Time will make the loudest statement of all, if you stay patient enough to let it. Final words, make them regret ever. Doubting you, you didn't ask for approval, you didn't beg for validation, you didn't whine about being overlooked, you took it. You built it. You rose, without the noise. And now, let them look. Let them wonder. Let them regret underestimating the wrong one. And you, just smile. Just move. Just keep building. Because real power doesn't need a mic. It needs only one thing. Undeniable proof. If you've ever been underestimated, remember this. That was their mistake. Your move now? Make them regret it. Silently. They'll pretend they always believed in you. Mark these words. One day, the very people who once doubted you, who called you too late, too weird, too ambitious, or not enough, will rewrite their memory. They'll say, "I always knew they were special." We go way back. I saw the potential early on, but you'll remember. You'll remember the silence when you needed support, the smirks when you talked about your dreams, the way they underestimated your spirit. And no, you don't need to be bitter. You don't need to expose them. Just smile. And keep shining. Let their lies become invisible behind your light. Because in the end, history remembers the achiever, not the doubter. Your energy is too big for small minds. They couldn't see your vision because it wasn't theirs to see. They couldn't comprehend your goals because their thinking was small. They laughed because they couldn't imagine anyone escaping the same cage they were trapped in. They didn't underestimate you. They overestimated their own limits, so when you felt rejected, it wasn't about you. It was their fear showing. up as arrogance. You are not for everyone. Your passion will scare the lazy. Your ambition will irritate the complacent. Your growth will trigger those who refuse to grow. That's not your problem. That's their mirror. So stop shrinking. Stop explaining. Stop waiting for them to get it. You weren't made to be understood. You were made to lead. Greatness requires isolation. First, it's lonely, isn't it? When no one claps. When you're building quietly. When they stop calling because you've changed. But what if the loneliness is actually preparation? Isolation isn't punishment. It's incubation. You're being separated, so you can stop absorbing their noise. And finally, hear your own voice. Every great soul walks through the valley alone before rising to the mountain. This phase isn't permanent, but it's necessary, because when you finally emerge, you won't need permission. You'll know your own worth, with or without applause. Don't chase applause, chase alignment. It's tempting to prove them wrong with flash, the designer clothes, the fancy car, the viral post, but that's not the real win. The real win is waking up every day with peace, knowing you're doing what you were born to do, creating without fear, living without apology, building a life that feels like home, not just one that looks impressive. Alignment over applause, because likes fade. But fulfillment lasts, and nothing silences doubters like a peaceful, powerful, purpose-filled life. Rise without revenge, win with grace. You don't have to be vengeful to be victorious. Yes, they hurt you. Yes, they underestimated you. Yes, you still remember, but your goal isn't to get them back. It's to rise so high that you forget to look down. Grace is not weakness. It's confidence. It says, I don't need to destroy you, because I already built myself. When you lead with dignity, you rob them of their power. They can't rattle you. They can't trigger you. They can't stop you, because you're too focused on the future to fight over the past. The evolution of a misfit. Maybe you were always the outcast. Too intense, too emotional, too creative, too driven. They didn't know how to label you, so they ignored you. But the misfits, the underestimated, the black sheep, they're the ones who change the world. Because when you never fit in, you stop trying and start building your own world. You learn to lead. You learn to adapt. You learn to rise from the sidelines and take the stage. The ones they overlooked, those are the ones who rewrite the rules. So wear your different like armor. Because different is unforgettable. From pain to power, your story isn't over. There were nights you almost gave up. Moments when you felt invisible. Times when you looked in the mirror and saw nothing special. But you're still here. And that means something, because people who've been crushed and still rise, they're built different. You're not here by accident. You're not still fighting by luck. You're being forged. Your story isn't one of tragedy, it's one of triumph. It's not about what happened to you, it's about what's still unfolding inside you. And trust this, the comeback is always stronger than the pain. Choose silence over show, every time in a world addicted to noise, attention, and constant updates. Choose silence. While they post, you prepare. While they celebrate prematurely, you build legacy. While they flex, you focus. Let your work speak when it's ready. Let your success show up unannounced. And when it does, it'll make more noise than your words ever could. Because those who rise in silence shake the ground when they finally speak. What they said doesn't define you. They said you were a joke, a phase, a dreamer, a nobody. But what they said is irrelevant now, because you're not here to fit into their narrative. You're here to write your own. Your future isn't based on their opinions. It's based on your decisions. And every time you get up, every time you push forward, every time you keep building quietly, you rewrite everything they said. And eventually their words vanish beneath the weight of your work. The best revenge is a life they can't enter. You don't need to block them. You don't need to blast them. You don't even need to mention them. Just build a life so strong, so sacred, so beyond reach, that they can't even get near it anymore. Let the doors close. The ones who mocked you, they don't deserve the view. Keep growing. Keep evolving. Keep rising. Without noise, without drama, because one day they'll knock, and you won't even hear it. Final declaration. Say it with me. Let's make this real. Say it. Out loud, if you can. I was underestimated. I was doubted. I was ignored. But I stayed. I worked. I grew. I didn't scream. I didn't show off. I just kept moving. And now? They regret it, silently, while I shine. Outro. So if they ever doubted you, good. If they laughed at your dreams, good. If they pushed you aside, ignored your potential, or tried to box you in, even better. Because now, you get to do something most people never do. Prove them wrong without saying a word. So go, build, heal, rise. Let your life become so loud that it speaks in silence.